Today we will go to learn what is SQL, and I will give you some normal. Hope everyone is fine with English, and we will continue in SQL because we have some other state people as well. So we don't want to give any problems to them or concerns to them. So it's about just we will make sure that we are giving the training in English. So if any doubts, please you can paste it in the chat as well. So one of our trainee or myself will check the chats and we will give you those. Okay. So coming to the basic training again. Uh, SQL, we been informed what is SQL, how that will help, what exactly. Who we understand the history of SQL from the Friday's call. Hope most of your people have joined those calls. On Fridays the first call. So today I will be explaining you all guys how what is further, how we will see. And in SQL we have such topics which is on the screen like DDL, DCL, DML, joins, subqueries and functions, which are the main topics of SQL for next couple of days. And then we have some top, as I said, these are the topics which we will be going to cover, like how what is the insert, create, delete and update and operators, all these functions we will be discussing on this next few days. And So these are the ones. And as you know, the if for anything or for any course you need to know the roots and fundamentals. So like if you don't know ABCD, then you can't write any words. So it's the same as it is in any area when you are trying to learn or trying to seek anything. It's about understanding the roots and the fundamentals. So we just going to give you those levels of fundamentals with real time uh, examples, which will you make sure that it will understand and it will help you out for further. And how many of you guys have any SQL experience, or anyone have any SQL experience? Anyone can unmute and say one or two answers.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Okay, yeah, I think I can see the in the chat it's no sir. Okay,
Sir,
voice
DDM
ability.
Visual
Okay, yeah, that's great. Okay, thanks for your
Data
answer.
data definition
I
language.
hope it is recording. 1 second.
Data computation language.
It is Yeah, it's recording. That's great.
And then it is recording. Not a
Yeah,
problem.
okay, yeah. So yeah, thanks. That's great to know that few people have one or two will have the some understanding on SQL. So these are the functions, as I said. Hope you guys have, and it's good. So many people don't know, so they know the what is exactly the SQL and the stuff. It's about, I think in Friday's call also our Nagam brother Sairam has said few other stuff of history, how we will use it, what is what, where it comes from, how it goes, and then it's all about the basics which we got in the Friday's call. And today I will just go through a couple of slides, and then we will go to some examples how to do all those stuff, and we will have the exams anyway. So and if you have any queries, you can ping in the chat or something, we can clear them. Okay. So what is SQL? And it's a structured query language, how we can access the databases. And did anyone know what is database? You can type in the chat, or you can unmute yourself and say, anyone know what is database?
type of containers which stores data in an organized
Data, it
manner.
will be reflected in the front end of our application.
Okay. Any other thoughts?
Database management system is a
It's a collection of data in a
accessing of the
structured
data,
manner.
accessing of the other data.
Okay. And someone is saying something along with this person. So any other
Structured data
thoughts?
in collection of structured data in rows and columns.
Okay. If someone can unable to speak, please type in the chat. So they can also type in the chat if they are unable to speak or anything. So see, and as I said, SQL is such a language or such a material where you know things in very simple manner. It doesn't affect, or it doesn't like some any such critical ones. SQL is a pretty much straightforward with so much of easiness, I would say. And if you if you learn the roots, it will be very easy to understand what else is coming your way. So it's the data, the names itself will say what exactly SQL means to be. So we are saying that to access database is like you have some data which will have all the needful information, and to get those data in a structured manner with writing some lines which is your queries, and then giving that query to in a structured manner and a structured language in a particular database or in a particular list or whatever it is, you will get all those such information in a scripting and stuff. It's those lines. It's not a very difficult language. I like Java or something. But SQL is a pretty much straightforward one, which you can retrieve the data from a database very easily by giving you structured queries. Okay, so it's all this is all just the terms whatever we are using. It's such a straightforward language where you can learn very easily. Okay, and just to give the example, so I've been using SQL for last 10 years, where I've been a non computer background, but still I've been in computer world for such a long period with SQL and PL SQL, just writing and write queries and extracting the data and stuff, creating own tables and giving to the business. So I work as a service professional. So we do the data analyst and data analysis or data quality, which we need to do myself. I don't depend on someone else to give the data and to do the analysis. So it's just a straightforward language where it will be based on the words whatever you're using. When we go into the deeper, you will understand what exactly the SQL is, how much easy it is to write or to create or whatever it is. So as I said, it's just a structured query language to access one of the databases where the data is there in a such a, either it's, if I put it some easy words, like if it is too difficult or too many table, too many rows. For example, if a database is having so much of data with different tables, etc., it's such a easy one to join or to do. All these words are very generic words which we use on a daily basis. So that is what SQL, how much easy it was. And the next one is, it includes the database either to create is, you know, the word create, it's to create the tables, to deletion the rows, fetching the rows, whatever the data in the database or whatever the data in the tables, you can give. And you can modify as well. If the table is owned by you, what if the table is created by you, there are such a way you can modify the rows, etc., as well. And it also helps, as I said, it is such a easy language where it will helps in manipulating and retrieving as well, to store the data in a relational database like MySQL, MyAxis, Oracle, Sybase, Info, whatever the servers, whatever the things you are using, use SQL as a standard database language. So it is such a straightforward language to retrieve the data and the stuff, how you can play around it and make sure that you are have been successful in understanding the SQL language. So far, any questions to anyone? What is where? Is there any queries? I will just give. I will pause for 1 more minute. Any queries or anything from anyone? You can type if you don't want to speak or anything. You can type in the chat.
No doubts as well. Pratik.
Second, someone asked something. Okay. Yeah. I think I haven't seen any questions. Well, yeah. So that is how we will use SQL. And as we said, one of our Sarams also will be in the chat. They are clarifying your queries or putting their information. Just it's to communicate with the databases to retrieve the data as to or to read to manipulate everything in the see what is relational database. See, it's a relational database. That stores and provide access to data points that relates to one to each other, and how these will be in a model or in a straightforward way. As I said already, it's such a straightforward one where you can of representing the data in the tables which those been used on your retrieve person by using SQL. So in a relational database, there is a each row in a table is recorded with a unique ID called the key. It's as I said in a table. If you hope you guys have been written in an Excel sheet or something. Okay, there is a name, there is something which will is and take for example these stuff or on a daily basis you are preparing your time sheet. Okay, this time I will do this on this activity. Okay, you are creating a table in an Excel sheet. In the first column, I'm saying that what is the day, what is the time, and what is the activity you are going to do. Okay, and what is the outcome of that activity. For example, if you take these 4 rows and then you are going with time. Okay, 3 to 4 or 4 to 5 you will woke up, and it will you do some you will woke up and get fresh up and everything like that. And then 5 to 6 you will do some exercise, and then this will give you this much of outcome and stress. It will avoid your stressness like that. It is a separate rows you will create in a table of your daily activities. And unique ID is your what is the time period you have given, 7 to 8, 4 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to 7. Those are the unique ones for each particular day where you will do specific activity or specific stuff which will help you out to retrieve the data. For example, going forward, you want to extract those data on a particular day, on a particular time, what activity you did and how much outcome it is giving. And if you want to add all those into okay on a particular month, on a particular activity or a monthly wise, how you want to retrieve this data. This is how you want to relate your live examples in your mind and make sure that this is nothing any what people will say, right? It's not a rocket science to gather. It's about how you interest and how you sharpen your things and relate to your daily stuff which will help you out to do all those stuff. So such a common thing. As I said, will have that. Okay, and each row will have a each row in the table will record with a unique ID called the key. And then you will have the columns as well. I said that you will have a different columns which will have the attributes of the data, and each record usually have a value of each attribute, making it easy to establish the relationships. So it's all about, and as I said, the columns also I have already given you the example. It's all about like that. Okay, and then how it looks like. As I said, for example, if you take these ratings which is having ID rating and then user id, what is the some movie id for example, and then it will link to users where your id is common. Okay, where your id is with your user id, and then you have your name, your last name, and your email id. And then movie id, in movies you will have movie id which is as same as movie id, which will have the name description, and then tags which will have your user id linked to your id, so that see how it will interlink. And this is like uh it's like a things which you can, which will go forward when you listen about joins, how we will interlink, and it will be a common and unique one in call every column. You can't keep, you can keep everything in one thing, but how you want to create a simple stuff and do all those stuff. So this is how you, it looks like, and how you want to create a relational database or already existing one, how you want to retrieve the date, or it about linking all those ones, and we will go through some basic queries later. But yeah, this is how it's look like. As I said in a previous one, you have a one table where you have date and time in the previous example only. If I divide that, you in your one of the table which says that uh, month a month and date and time is in your one table with, and then you have time with activity, and then time activity and with your what is the purpose of that activity, and then one is having your time or purpose with the outcome. So it's all how you want to interlink. And it's the same here. You can see one table is named as ratings, which is having id, rating, and user id and movie id. This is people is having like your Netflix for example. If you guys are using Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Amazon, whatever it is, how they will interlink, and they will send you the emails, all those ones, how it interlinks to each other. And that is how it looks like. They created a different tables which will interlink. They can, if I want only id who is using the movies, and then with their usernames or whatever the movies they are watching, or something like that. So how it will retrieve is, they will retrieve these all information in such a specific tables. They will create their own relational database where they can gather the information. Is there any questions so far? Any questions anyone can type?
Hello, excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Can you tell about these tags? Tags
Sorry.
ID, tag, user ID, tags, tags. Sir.
Yeah, we will go through, we
This.
will I will show you some examples going forward. Okay, so you will see how this looks like. So it's as I said, for example, if you are having a Netflix, you will have your id as your Gmail. Your rating is how, what is, whether what type of profile you are using. Like you are having, you will have some options, right? When you are, when you are opting the Amazon Prime or Netflix something, you will say that okay, I will pay this much for stuff like premium or something like that. Your rating and your user, they will have your unique id, like how we created here sdps for example. It's like same thing. And you will have the movie id. Okay, you are opting such a premium, standard, or ultra premium, so it will comes with all those things. Okay, when you are a standard user, you will see only standard some movies. If you are premium one, you will see some more movies. If you are ultra premium, you will see some other stuff. And then the users table you will have, they will link your sdp id like same as id1. And your users also, one will have your first name, last name, and email. And same thing, movies will have id, which links with movie id and name and description, so that they can see what type of movies you are watching. And they will refer you, okay, these are the next movie we added. They will send you the reminders like that. It's interlinked to each other, which they will say. And the tags is like they will link to your profiles or something. It's all like that is how it's been managed. We will show you how those tables and IDs looks like going forward with this scenario. Is it clear?
Sorry, sir. Suddenly your screen sharing has stopped.
Is it stopped? I can see it's still recording.
Yeah, now it is okay, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, any other questions from anyone? Okay, we will go in the bit slower. It's fine.
Again, your screen sharing is stopped.
Sorry, Sarah.
We got a notification saying that due to sudden outrage of internet at the presenter end, the screen sharing has stopped.
Is it now back?
Yes, sir. It is now back.
Okay, I'm just okay. Yeah, it's in ideal pause, so it's I think it's saying like that. Yeah. So any queries still if anyone having because one of our Sairam said that it is a bit of faster. Any queries SGP 95 on those ones? So far it's the, as I said, it these are just a basic ones. You just need to understand the terms, but going forward those will be some more critical ones which we will go a bit slower and stuff. We are going to make sure that you guys will understand the basic ones, which is these ones. So these are just very fundamentals anyway. So we can spend some more slower time in when we are going through some complex topics like joins or something where we can functions. We will go slowly over there, and functions are also very easily which you have been used on a daily basis. So yeah, we will help you out there, and if you have any queries or anything, and that's why we said that you need to practice it once you've been uh, once we finish this session, okay, on a daily basis as well. Yeah. 1 second. Okay, so the next one is the what type of normal forms, what is exactly these things you can see on the screen. These are the normal
Again,
forms
the screen
I'm sorry, I
sharing has
can't see your screen again.
now.
Yeah, now it's visible.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So now you can see the normal forms on the screen, which is it's net database. What exactly we will go through one after one. What is first normal form, second normal form, we will go through those ones, which is in a database, how we will store the data as is shown in the above one, how we will interlink with each other, and what is what in each normal form, and what is Boyne's coded normal form. We will go through all those ones, and we will go through these ones in the next few minutes. So these type of normal forms will have what is first, second, how those will are interlinked with each other, and what is the mandatory the stuff which will be doing in the normal forms, etc. Okay. So so yeah, so we will go through till third normal form, and we'll see how it will work for your guys for your fundamentals and stuff. And the next one is, what is normalization? Might be we are going through theory part now, and the practical stuff which we will also show you how the queries will look like and the stuff. But this is a bit of
Anna,
theoretical one with live examples
Anna,
to
sorry for
explain.
interrupting you.
Yeah, sorry.
Anna, I think due to network issues, your screen got stopped. I mean, now it came back.
Yeah, I think it's going in idle because I was that's why I'm moving up and down. So yeah, so it's going in idle mode, and might be it is uh, going out. But yeah, is it now back for everyone?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So I'll just keep on moving it. I don't know why it is. So yeah, so the next is, what is normalization? And the term itself is saying that how we want to know, it's a process of organizing the data in the database. As we said already, SQL will help you to retrieve the data or to connect to a database, to retrieve, to manipulate all those stuff which we said. And it's a process how we want to, the, these are just a theoretical stuff. When you go to practical, you might be understanding why we used all these ones and the stuff. And normalization is just to make sure that what is the data in that particular database, and you can retrieve them. And also it been used to minimize the redundancy and from relation or set of relations which is having each other. As I said in the top, you can see here it has some relations to each and every table, and how you want to retrieve them from. And this process is a that process is a normalization where you can just organizing the data in a particular manner, and then also to minimize the redundancy to of a relation or set of relations which is in a particular database. Along with that, it is also eliminate undesirable characteristics like insertion, update, and deletion anomalies in a particular tape. If I'm creating different rows, I can't create a duplicate rows or duplicate tables or duplicate columns. It's such a stuff which you can help you out. And then this normalization also will divides larger table into smaller tables. As I said here, why we have to create these four tables? It's instead of that, you can create one table which will make it much more complexer. Than that, you can create and divide them in such a manner which will help you out all those stuff in smaller tables and links them using relationships which is called joins. And then that is how these normal forms will help you out. And then this is also will reduce redundancy from the database tables and the stuff. Okay, so these four which I shown on the top, these ratings, users, movies, and tags, which are you called as tables. And then inside each parameter, these tags will called these are the ones, and these are the one which we will go int. And then there are some varchar. All these types we will discuss in future or in the further classes. So that is how the normalization will work, and we will go through uh, some samples which we said. Okay, so in the normalization, these samples which is first normal form, as we say, each cell will should contain only single value, but it can be unique. As we speak in the record, you can see one of the table, you can see we created a full name which will have your name and then physical address, and then what are the movies you rented, and then what are the solution is your type, Mr., Miss, Mistress, whatever it is. You can see the first five rows which we created, saying that okay, Janet Jones, and then he have the same address, but he's movie renting two different movies. That's why you can see everything is common, but there is a distinct one which is which is called unique value, which is your movies rented. and then the person will have the same name with the same physical address, because the person is having different movies whatever they've been rented. It's like that. Okay, so you can see each cell of the table should contain one value. You can't keep any, you can keep null values, but in the first normal form it is how we will create in a simple one. And then every record in the table should be unique, no duplicate values will be allowed on these in first normal form, which you can see simply this Janet Jones and the first his address, and then what is the movies he rented. And then you can write uh, some queries how to you extract what is Janet Jones is using, or based on the movies also you can see who are using, who is, whether he, what is he, whether he is a Mr., how many Miss, how many Mr. and you can see from which address they are physical using all these movies who been opted all these ones, so that it can interlink. That's how you want to retrieve the data which is in a particular database or a table which you can using the first normal form. Yeah, I will stop for a second. Sorry, I will pause for a second. Any questions on normalization or the first normal form or on the table which we shown? Any queries to anyone? So as we speak, we just want to give you such a normal and easy stuff. So make sure that you guys are getting to the same pace of it. Any other, any questions from anyone?
Can you explain once again 1 minute?
Is it back now?
Yes, it's available.
Yeah, it will, when I just click there for questions I might pause it, but yeah, you guys can.
Shairam?
Any questions? Yeah, I will take it as no. Yeah, we will
Shairam?
move to the next one. Sorry, yeah, someone is saying, asking.
For 1NF, right? You said no duplicates records should be available,
Yeah,
but in solicitation it's duplicates, right?
no, it's not a
Oh,
duplicate. How you see, that's what I said, right? For example, if you are having a Netflix, think in real imagination. For example, you are only having, but your home address will be the same, but the movies rented is the unique one which is differentiating those two rows. It's a duplicate value in the sense the person will be not be the same or something. Yeah, in the next one you will see how it will work in the second and third normal forms when we go there. But yeah, it's all, there is no duplicates. It's about this row and the next row will not, are not duplicates, right? See, if you are writing uh, the Janet Jones and the address and then the movie name, and the second thing you will have the different movie name which will uh, distinguish between the two rows. So it is not a duplicate value. And when you say if the movies are also duplicate, then the person name or the address will change. So it's not a it's not that kind of duplicate values. It's about just the same person's one. You can't have the duplicates.
okay, what is the real-time use of this one, Shairam?
Sorry.
Real-time use of this one.
Yeah, see, this is just a live sample. When you are using it's about just making sure that when you are creating tables, you need to make sure all these rules to create a table for you to extract. If I'm creating a duplicate values, that the table will get more clumsiness, and the data whatever you are trying to retrieve will not helpful out. And then you have to use some functions which you have to make sure that you are not extracting duplicates or the count. For example, I'm saying that count of star who is using movies rented. Then if you added two same rows, then it will give two counts where the person is only one, actually it is one. So that's how it in real time the data should be. These are useful for when you are creating a table on your own. These are the rules which you should keep in your mind.
Thank you, sir.
Good, then yeah. So when, now we are moving to second normal form, you can see it should be first normal form, which means that the cell will have only single value, and then there should be a unique value. We should not entertain the, we should not keep any duplicates. And then the second rule will be single column will have the primary key. So here we will use the membership id as the primary key, which will be your common id to link with each other. For example, you can see membership id is 123, where the Janet Jones and the address and the solution will be added to your membership id. So and then you can see that membership id, if the person is having Pirates of the Caribbean and Clash of Titans as the movies rented, that person will get the membership id as one. As I said, you will have standard, premium and ultra premium. Like that, you can see whoever is opting these two movies, then they will have the membership id as 2. And then they, if the person is opting only the Clash of Titans, they will have 3. So that is how you can see, which is linked to the above table, where you can see the person Janet Jones is having 2 movies, which is Pirates of Caribbean and the Clash of Titans. That's why he was 1. And Robert Phil is opting 3 movies, but he's having the, he is opting both the things of both membership ideas 2 and 3, which is having like that. It will have your single column, which is your having at, which will act as your primary key to join each other, which will go through some samples later. But yeah, so this is how it links with the tables, which you can uh, use in the second normal form. It should have the first normal form for sure, and then you will have a primary key which will interlink or link to each two different tables as we shown in the top. Any questions on here? Any questions on the second normal form?
No, sir.
Yeah, that's good. And now we'll move into third normal, third normal form, which it should be second normal form, which means that we will having second normal form, which is one cell, which each cell will should have the single value, and then there will be no duplicates, which will have the unique value, and then the primary key as well, which will include in your third normal form, and which will add saying that there will be no transitive functional dependencies. So what is transitive functional dependencies? So it's when is when changing a non-key column might cause any of other non-key columns to change. So key column is your primary key, foreign key or composite key. Whatever the keys which you are using, it should not having to linking to each other. You can see here change in name of Mr. or may change the solution, which will use the transitive functional dependency. And so this it's a non-key which will use in your transitive functional. There is no such dependencies where it should not have these transitive dependencies of third normal form. And then you can see now, you can see the example here. The membership id is linked to your the second table which we discussed in the second normal form, and then in third normal form, when we checking the solution ID is linked to 1 with Mr. and 2 with Miss and 3 with Miss, right? We can interlink, and 4 with doctor, which will interlink with your the first table solution ID. 2 is Miss, and then uh, this one will be the Mr. So we can interlink with those ones with your key IDs, and then these will be the primary and primary keys, which will have no duplicates and the stuff. So that is how which is till these three normal forms. Any questions still? Any questions on first, second, and the third normal forms before we move to the classification of SQL? Any questions?
Sir, can you explain the third normal form again?
See, it's see, third normal form is nothing but having including second and one. Okay, when you include second, it will include the first, which will make sure that you are having the dependencies of all these ones. So in first normal form, we discussed that it should contain a single value in each cell, and then it will have a unique value, you not entertaining the duplicate values. And in the second key, we are adding a primary key. And third normal form, where it will have both one and second normal form, which will automatically. And then the transitive functional dependence, as we say that the solution or one of the names will change, which will interlink to each other, and make sure that when you see the sample, it will be much better. This is all theoretical, but when we go in some practical queries or something, you will understand in a better way. But yeah, so this is how it should have all those dependent, it not have any such transitive functional dependencies to interlink with each other, and making sure that you will have the first and second normal forms, which is ultimately your second normal form. Is it clear? Or
Okay, done, sir. Thank you.
Srikant, anything you to add, Srikant?
No, no, it's good.
So so yeah, so now we are
Blur.
sorry.
Clarity not different.
Is it now clear? Okay. And next one is SQL classification. How this SQL is classified, which is we said that DDL, data definition language, and then transaction control language. So that the names itself is saying that you can define the data whatever you can do within the SQL, and you can do the transaction control language. You can manipulate, which is DML, which is data manipulation, and you can control uh, the data, which is all these are your basic words which you use in a daily basis. It's all these DDML and the transactional or data manipulation or data control, which is just like all these are normal ones, which we will go through each of these classifications in the next few classes. And today we will cover the DDML, which is like how we want to data definition language. This is commands that can be used to define the database. It's all saying that how we want to create a data, how we want to define the data within a particular database, how you want to look that, how you can do that. And this DDLL will allows you to add, modify, delete the structures, the logics, whichever contain in particular data, which allow users to access or maintain that particular data of a particular database in such ones. And the names, as I said, the names itself will say create. When you are using a create, it means that you are creating a table of to create the database or to create those and its objects. and then alter is just you are altering the structure and existing database. Okay, I want to change, or I want to change something in the database from so and so to so you can use alter. And then alter will never come back again. If you use update, it will update. So, and then drop, it will delete the objects from the databases. And truncate is like you are deleting or removing all records from a table, including memory allocated for that records. For example, I have 20 rows or 30 rows. If that person has stopped the subscription, then we will also truncate that person data, everything, which will create one more person to add, so that it will suffice for your memories and the stuff, uh, which will can be used. Okay, so yeah, so that is how these are all the stuff, and we will just go through in the minute. I will show you something which creates like this. See, for example, this is the select queries. I think this can be done tomorrow, but yeah. So this is the ones. Any questions? I think we've been through 50 minutes of our session. Anything from anyone? We want to go in a slow pace, even though these are theoretical ones and we are just in a starting phase. So yeah, when we go to the complex part of this training, you guys will need all these stuff to keep in mind. What is create is, it's just to how to create the data and alter, drop, and truncate. These are the basic words which you will use on a daily basis as well. Any questions? I think we through been 50 minutes of our session. I will just we will have 15 more minutes, but yeah, any things from anyone? Any questions? Or might be it will be so much of theoretical, but when you put your hands on, that's why we said that you guys need laptop to practice outside to create. We will show you all those ones as well. So any we will just open for questions. Yeah. Small doubt, actually we have total 6 normal techniques. We will list the remaining ones not required. No, yeah, for fundamentals 3 enough will be enough. And you guys will be good to go with writing or doing the SQL on your own with 3 enough. Yeah, that will be sufficient ones for you guys. Yeah, thanks SDP 575. Thanks for your question. Anyone else? If any other questions when you are thinking of SQL in the day going forward, because it's everyone is joined pretty early in the morning, and it's good to grasp all those things. If you have any questions, whatever WhatsApp groups you are been part of, you can ask over there. We will be, our team will be there of monitoring and querying your answering your queries. If you are unable to ask now, or if you have any issues, you can ask, or any queries in the GeoMeet chat or in the WhatsApp groups, wherever you've been part of. Shrikant, anything for you to add, or we want to go further, or is it sufficient for today? Because we don't want to rush. We can rush somewhere in further few classes, which you don't want to rush or make sure that people are getting confused with the stuff which are a theoretical part.
Yeah, it's fine, and we can wind up the call today. Today,
Yeah,
and one more.
yeah,
Yeah,
sorry,
please go ahead.
Srikant. Go on, Srikant. Yeah, go.
Yeah, thank you. So I saw some of the people some of the learners are thinking like whether 3 nomination forms are enough. Like I strongly say that, like out of 6 nomination forms, only 3 nomination forms are more than enough for our SQL basics and all. Like moreover, we will use only first three nomination forms. Apart from that, we are not going to use any nomination form more. Okay. So please, guys, like only three nomination forms. And one more thing, I just want to add, like today we will share the PPT with you, and please go through the PPT one after every class, and we will share one video link with you how to install SQL Workbench on your laptop. Like if you have if you have laptop with you, so you can use that link and you can install the SQL Workbench and you can start practicing those things. And for today, only theoretical session, and from tomorrow, we're going to teach you basics like DDL, DML, and DCL. Those kind of things. From there, you will get practical knowledge. So for today, only this is the theoretical knowledge and the basic knowledge you need to remember, um, and you need to learn these concepts while learning these SQL. So that's why we are teaching you these concepts. Okay. So if you have any doubts, you can reach out in the WhatsApp groups, and we will try to address those questions as soon as possible. Thank you. And you can continue. I mean,
Yeah.
if you want
Yeah.
to add
So
anything, you can add.
yeah, I think that's the one which one just, and as we said in the starting, tomorrow you please join with your SGP IDs, and then make sure that we will having great session tomorrow. And yeah, that's it from me as well. Uh, yeah, thanks, Rikant. I think so it's all too early for me as well. So it's been 4 o'clock for me back in London. So yeah, so I think hope you guys had a great session today, and we will be looking forward for tomorrow to go with your practical with the practical queries, how those looks like. And as as Srikant Saram said, we will you guys will have to outside, you can just use some SQL bench which you can whatever from tomorrow onwards. It will be we will go through tomorrow DML and other stuff which will show you the select and the further stuff which can be links to your SQL syntax, how they will look like, what they will use for, all these ones which we'll use tomorrow. So yeah, so that's it from me. Yeah, any final, anyone from final?